What's up, YouTube? Ghost here. I'm going to do this review on my rifle itself. I just did one on the bipod. We're going to dedicate this one to the rifle. What we have is the Remington 700 sps-tactical aac-sd version. The only difference between this and the regular tactical version is this one comes with a Hoga molded stock, already threaded barrel for a flash suppressor, muzzle brake, or silencer, and it has a 1 in 10 rifling versus a 1 in 12. Pros and cons. I don't have very many negatives to say about the rifle. Shooting Wolf's 145 grain ammo, which is out of spec ammo for this rifle and its rifling, should be shooting 168 grain. 145 is a little light. I'm still getting sub 3/4 MOA 100 yards out of the rifle shooting Wolf performance ammo. So I can only wait to see what I'm going to be able to get when I get some premium ammo and 168 grain. Rifle itself, 20-inch barrel, has very little recoil. I contribute part of that to having a heavy barrel, another part to having a very thick and spongy, I guess you would say, recoil pad on the back of the stock. Threads are 5/8 by 24. It is coated. Off the top of my head, I can't remember what the name of the coating is. Similar to what a Glock's coated with. I don't really think much about the con, but your bolt is also coated. As you can see, it is getting a light. It is also coated the same as the rifle is. It's a good and bad. The good is it's going to decrease on wear and tear, rust, easier to clean. The bad thing about it is because it's coated, it makes the bolt a little more sticky. It's not glass smooth like you would get out of one of the higher end model Sporter rifles. Is that a complaint for people? Yeah, some won't like it, some like me won't care. Still able to raise one finger, come back one finger, back forward. If you torque it, that's when you're gonna really notice it. One finger, it'll come back by itself. I don't think it's a problem. Others will. Only other negative really is the barrel is free floated from the stock. See if I can get this to show up in the camera. Even though it is free floated, you can see the gap underneath, maybe. When you put pressure down on the front of the barrel, it makes minimum contact here. It's just enough where you can't get a piece of paper through it with it resting on the bipod. If I take it off the bipod, I can put 3 pieces of paper through it. That's how much play it's got. Some people will think that that's just horrible because it's making point contact and it's going to mess with barrel harmonics. My personal opinion on barrel harmonics is this bullet coming out of this rifle is traveling 2,700 feet per second. It is gone before the vibration ever makes it down. There's barrel harmonics and compressed. Anyway, I'm not going to get on that soapbox with what the so-called experts will tell you about harmonics and why you absolutely have to have this free floated. I'm shooting sub 3/4 MOA groups with it making barrel contact and using Wolf ammo. I personally don't see why I need to do anything else to make it any better. I could take the stock off. I've already looked. It is bedded. I could take a Dremel tool or file, something, trim this down. That might keep it free floated or might make that front end point contact go away. Other than that, I don't really see a point in doing it. It's more trouble to me than what it's really going to be worth. The rifle comes with a thread protector. I'm not really fond of this thing. Unless you winch it down on there, it comes loose during firing and will unscrew itself. I have a muzzle brake on the way for it. I just haven't got it in yet. When I get the brake in, I'll do some before and after shooting outside shots so you can see how the recoil is affected by the brake. Comes standard Remington box magazine. 4 shot plus 1 in the chamber, total 5 rounds. This will get swapped out eventually. It feels like it's made out of plastic, I'm not sure. It just feels cheap. Held trigger, guard, trigger assembly, magazine are all held in by 2 Allen screws. Trigger itself is adjustable underneath, I don't know if you can see it in here or not, but it's got a small tiny Allen head. They say that it comes adjusted to 3.5 pounds. Mine came in at about 4. I adjusted it, then checked the pull weight on it, and they say it will not adjust down below 3.5. I have it set at 3 right now, and it's a factory trigger. I don't want it any looser than that, or more loose than that. Sorry. Other than that, there's really nothing more to say about this. It's a standard Remington 700. 700 action on a heavy. This is the same profile barrel as the SPS-tactical or varmint or the 700 police. The only difference in the barrel is the rifling and the length. It is tapered slightly. I can't remember what the dimensions are up here. It tapers down. It's .860 when I measure with calipers at the end before the cuts are made for where the threads are. So you got .860 on the outside. The rifle itself was supposed to weigh from the factory, I think it was 7.2. That feels about right. I have a couple of other rifles, particularly my AR. One of my ARs weighs 7.4 pounds. It feels like it weighs just a tad more than this one does, without the scope on it, of course. Right now it's got just a Bushnell 6-18 standard crosshair. The scope itself, a friend of mine actually gave it to me because I needed one to get the rifle set up, and this is just on there until I can get or afford a better scope. Still up in the air about which one I'm going to go with. Haven't really decided. That's worse than trying to figure out which rifle you want to buy. I have a review already on the bipod itself. The rifle did not come with sling swivels. I had to buy those extra. It did have swivel studs. The stock itself, I don't want to say tacky. It feels rubbery. If anybody's ever held a Hogue slip-on grip that you'll put on a pistol or a rifle, like your AR-15 Hogue grip or your slip-on or tacky grips that you'll put on 1911 or any polymer pistol that's slip-ons, it's the same material. It feels just like that. The only problem I've had out of any of the stock itself is the butt pad. It is real rubbery, it is real tacky, and when you go to raise it up, if you have on loose clothing, it will grab a hold of it and pull it up with you. The stock itself doesn't do that. You can remove the end pad if you want to. It's got 2 screws in the back. I think they're Phillips head when I checked. You can take it off, put a standard one on there if you prefer. I just left it as is because I don't care. I'm also not going to change my bolt. I don't see the purpose of having a tactical bolt. For me, raise it up. If I'll chamber around, chamber around, fire, pull the trigger, fire. If I want it to come up, I do it with one finger, come back. I don't need a tactical bolt knob. The people that have those tactical bolt knobs kill me because they feel like they got to take their hand off the rifle, come up, grab it, manipulate it, come back. If you want to shoot accurately and have little movement as possible, if you're going to take the time to put a bipod, a muzzle brake on there, learn how to manipulate the bolt. Push up with one finger, come back, down. Your arm hardly moves, where if you grab the bolt, come up, you're moving your whole arm. That's just a personal preference. Some people disagree. That's just mine. That's the way I learned how to shoot the bolt rifle. Standard Remington 700 safety on the back. Forward's fire, rear safety. That's about all there is to it. Of all my bolt rifles, I like this one better than I do any of the rest. Yes, it is a little heavier. I do take it in the woods. I do hunt with it. It does get a little bit heavy if you're carrying a lot of equipment. I'm still looking for another sling. I've been using one of my AR slings for it. It gets a little heavy, but my M16A2 that I carried weighed just over 8 pounds. It only weighs a pound more than my Remington 700 30-06 Sporter model BDL. It only weighs a pound more than that. So Yeah, it's apples to oranges. It's like Ford versus Chevy. Some people like Ford because of this, other people like Chevy because of that. 1 pound to me isn't really going to make a difference. I'm not going to go do a 30-mile hump. So I'm going to carry it out to the woods, go find somewhere to sit down, put it across my lap, and hold it until I get ready to shoot it. I don't see why the weight should be a problem. It's not like carrying an extremely heavy rifle. That 1 pound heavier barrel helps with recoil. Recoil on this it's a little bit more than my AR. It's a little more noticeable than the AR. It's not harsh by any means. I fired 100 rounds through it in one sit down and had no problem with it. I would suggest if you get one to get a bipod before you do anything else, or you get your scope first, then your bipod. Holding it for longer than a few, 2 or 3 shots with any other rifle, your arms are going to get tired. You're going to want something to prop it up on. That at least gives you the flexibility to have it propped up, have it stable on the front end, and at the same time not fatigue your arm by trying to hold it up. That's all I'm going to do for it right now. I'll get some shots, or I'll get some video of me out taking shots with it when I get my muzzle brake in, do a before and after, and some target comparison, shooting the cheap ammo, the middle of the road ammo, and some more expensive stuff, doing a 100-yard shot test. If you have any questions, feel free to ask.